So we have a patient here who's come into the hospital for the first visit, and let's just open his treatment chart. And what we find is that he's been diagnosed with diabetes mellitus, and that's what we see in the diagnosis as well. And let's just scroll down to the services area. We see that a blood sugar was ordered for him today, and the reading is higher than the normal reference range. So we'd like for him to come back next week and to do a fasting and a post-prandial blood sugar test, and let's see how we can order for it. Click on add service, choose laboratory, and let's go for the fasting blood sugar first. Okay, let's add the second one, which is the post-prandial. Right, now that the two are on the screen, let's schedule it. By default, these orders are visible from the effective date that is set. By default, it is set to today's date, and it goes to a number of days as determined by the hospital during implementation. So here it shows 3rd August 2017, quite a large open window. But we want this patient to come back on the 8th and have his blood sugar test done on the 8th. It's likely that he may not be able to come back on the 8th. So we'll give a few days of time for that order to be visible in the system. So let's choose the 13th. So if you look at it from the 8th to the 13th, we'll do the same thing for the other lab test as well. So let's choose the 8th. There's an easy way to put the date onto the expiry. Just triple click and paste. Whoops, I think I overwrote everything that was selected, so let's paste it once again and carefully edit the 8 out and replace it with 13. Right, so now the effective dates have been set. The order will be visible from the 8th to the 13th. If there's any medication that the doctor wishes to order, you can do that here, and let's just save that. The order is saved. Let's just pick up the patient number and go into billing and look at what the patient's bill will show. What we are expecting to see is that there shouldn't be any of the orders that were placed by the doctor visible here, and that is because the effective date is set from the 8th of May to the 13th of May, and therefore the order will be only visible during those days. So the patient can be told to come back on the 8th and get his blood sugars done, and then come back for a consultation to review what the next course of action needs to be. Hi, we're back. Today is the 8th, and it's time for the patient to actually come back, and let's go to the registration desk. The patient has come in, so we'll first register the patient to see the doctor after the tests have been complete. So enter the patient number and we find the patient, and then we know who has last seen him, so we register the patient back to the same doctor. This is a general consultation, and we type in the cash paid and click register, and the patient is now registered in the OPD for today. The patient also mentioned that they have lab tests ordered on the previous visit, and they want for it to be billed so that they can get the test done. So the billing clerk would then type the patient number and click search. We find the patient's bill and there's nothing on it, and you might wonder why. It's because the patient actually came on a previous visit. On the current visit there are no orders yet, so we choose the visit and the orders appear. Both the lab tests are there, as you can see. So all that the billing clerk needs to do is collect the cash and issue a receipt. So the lab tests are in the system. They should be visible in the lab. So let's just go to the lab and take a look. So the person in the lab would then log in, click on order management. There's nothing there today. That's because the orders were placed earlier. So the best way to search would be just by the patient number, which should be on the receipt. And here we have both the tests, the fasting and the postprandial. So let's just watch the lab person collect the sample. This completes the sample collection. Now the task is assigned and then it is started. And once the results are available, the results are entered into the system. Now it's time to release the tasks, and it's always a good practice to verify what has been entered. So if there's a chance that it needs to be edited, it can be redone. But if everything looks okay, the task can be released, and that's what happens. Now 2 hours later, the patient has had a meal and they've come back for the postprandial. So the lab person would then collect the sample for the postprandial test. The sample is now collected. The task is assigned. The test is started. And when the results are available to be entered into the system, they are entered. And now the task can be released. So that completes the lab workflow. Now let's go to the doctor's side and take a look at the results on the doctor's screen. So the doctor would go to My Patients. The patient is waiting in the OPD and is called in. The doctor opens the episode landing page and then clicks on the episode and selects it and opens it. And here we have the treatment chart. The doctor reviews the treatment chart and then scrolls down to the services to see whether the tests have been complete, and we see that there are some results that are released, but how do we know which are the ones that were released today? So go to the options menu on the right and then choose last updated at, and we should be able to see that the tests that were completed on the 8th, and the results can be accessed by clicking on the little triangle on the left side of the test. Now based on the results, the doctor can continue the treatment by adding medication, etc. We hope you found this useful. Thanks a lot for watching this video.